Just because you wrote no refunds on your receipts does not mean it is legally enforceable. And if a customer takes you to court, that receipt might be the very thing that will make you liable. This is for every business owner who has copied another person's business policy. You've written no refund on your receipts, you have it on your wall without really understanding why the person put it there. I understand why you have chosen to write no refunds. This is because of your past experiences. Maybe you've dealt with a bad customer, a customer who returned a good in terrible condition, or a particular service that you have already done halfway, only for the client to turn around to request for a refund. But here is what you must know. A business policy is not a wall. It is not absolute. It cannot override the law. Under the Nigerian Consumer Protection Law and the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act, customers have rights that your policy cannot erase. So if a product you delivered was defective, or a service was not delivered as promised, or there was misrepresentation, that no refund that you had on your receipt and your invoice will not protect you. And in fact, it can even be used against you as evidence of bad faith. And aside refund policy, I've seen a lot of businesses with discriminatory policy, like termination clauses that violate the labor laws, payment terms that constitute unfair conduct. All of these clauses written with confidence. So before you adopt a policy for your business, here are standards every policy in your organization must meet. 1, it must have a legitimate business reason, not just because everyone has it. 2, it must be proportionate. The restriction you have put in place must match the risk you are protecting. 3, it must be compliant. This means it cannot violate any written law in that jurisdiction. Finally, it must be communicated clearly before the transaction. A policy the customer did not know about before the transaction is almost not enforceable. Before you draft or adopt any policy for your business, ensure you speak to a lawyer. Have the lawyer either draft it or review the policy you've already drafted.